I've been wanting to do this video for a long time about the benefits of breastfeeding and co-sleeping arrangement and if it actually happened to us. So I'm going to do this video now. I don't have an elaborate production. I'm just using my iPad, but you can hear me, you can see me, so that should work, right? And it's a big sacrifice to do that kind of work because I'm not working, I'm not making money, and I'm with my kids like 24/7. I mean, sometimes the mother-in-law comes in and takes care of them, but for the most part, I'm always at home with them, and they were breastfed like all the time. There was no pumping. I was always physically there with them. It was very rare, like if I had a doctor appointment or something like weird, like I was away. So I did that, okay? And there was some overlap when I was pregnant for the whole pregnancy and a few months after. So for each kid, it was like less than 2.5 months, just like maybe 2 years and like 5 months maybe, but it was like 2.5 years and 5 years total. And it's a lot of work, okay? So it's not like super painful, except if you're pregnant. Like it was like hell for me. And it's just time consuming, and I don't know, like what do you do during that whole time? Like I was always on my phone trying to think of like what are some productive things I can do like while this is happening. But anyways, I'm gonna go look through this list of like the benefits, like what the websites say, the official sources and old wives' tale, and I'm gonna say if it actually happened to us, because like is it worth it? Because like big major loss of income. People ask me, well, my mom, like, oh, aren't you gonna save up for their education? Like their university or whatever. And I'm thinking like, well, I'm making that sacrifice now. Like that's like what, like a whole income I'm losing like for 5 years. So I hope that like if you have a good head on your shoulder, when that time comes to go to university, you'll know what to do. You can get who knows what will happen then, like there's scholarships, maybe you can learn online, like that's becoming more prevalent. And you know, like things that maybe they don't want to do that, maybe they want to do their own thing. I mean, or maybe they go to school and they get that bill, but they can pay that quickly off with a good job. Like they'll have a good head on their shoulder. So that's why like the breastfeeding, like that was one of the benefits. So let's quickly go through that. Oh, and by the way, I just also want to mention like elephant in the room, like maybe people have noticed, like I don't have the biggest tank in the world, okay? But like I was concerned, like would I produce enough milk? So I got a hatch baby scale, and when I was like first started breastfeeding them, like I would measure them before and after to see how many grams of milk they had, or I forget the units measurement they used, but it was always exactly like what was needed, like how much they needed, right? So but actually in the beginning when I first started, like my son was in the NICU for a while, so like they kind of forced formula on him, and I didn't have proper understanding, like even though I thought I did reading the books, but then I had to really read in the books, like the proper hand position for breastfeeding. The hospital ladies were totally useless for that. They did not help me at all. Like they thought they were helping me, but like this YouTube video online was more helpful, because like at the NICU I finally figured it out, and then I got off the bottle as soon as I could, like, but I don't know, I don't think that was a big problem. But for my daughter, it was 100% breastfeeding, like 100%, not even a little bit of formula in the beginning. There was no NICU for her, because by that point I knew exactly how that worked or what I did wrong. Or I mean, a NICU situation, it's not like if something happened wrong, but I think I did something wrong because I didn't know about like if your birth takes like more than a certain amount of hours, like the kid like automatically goes to NICU. Or I don't know, I didn't know that, so that's why I got a doula the next time, so like to lower the risks of that. Anyways, I'm so sorry. It seems like I'm rambling, but I think this information is important, and I have a lot to say about it. And it's not punchy, like, okay, these are the top 10. Like, I'm just gonna talk off the cuff, okay? But I'm gonna kind of talk about like the top 10. So let's look at like a Healthline website, okay? So the benefits of breastfeeding, and I'm also doing co-sleeping, so there's a lot of benefits for that, I'm sure. Yeah, I know, like as a baby, like that's like super dangerous and all that. Like I don't want to say like make light of that like babies do die, and like was that fear in the back of my mind? I don't want to say it wasn't, but like when I was reading about it, it's like it was women who like maybe they were on medication, they were overweight, or like me, I know like how I sleep, you know, light sleeper. I stay on the same position. I'm not overweight. I don't take any medication, so I mean, every woman around the world, like this has been done, like all of humanity. Like why suddenly in America it's a problem? So I did it anyway, and there were no close calls. So I did it. I tried to do the bassinet thing, but like babies, they just cry and cry until you co-sleep with them. So I did it. So I'm not encouraging you to do it, but just read about it, okay? I did it. I'm not saying you should do it, okay? So anyways, breast milk provides ideal nutrition. Okay, that's good. Yeah, the doctor never had a problem with my kids. They were growing well, like on the chart. They were always in the normal range, just slightly below normal. Like, but their height was like always above average. So if that represents health, I mean, I don't know what else. Like, yeah, they looked healthy too to me. So that worked. Okay, so breast milk contains important antibodies. So it helps babies fight off viruses and bacteria. Like, yeah, my kids weren't sick often. Like I would see other kids. I'm so lucky. Like I'm knocking on wood. Like never went to the hospital for anything, any weird virus, bacteria situation. So thankful for that. So for that reason alone, I think breastfeeding, if that helps, like with that, yeah, it's worth it. Okay, so I can't even think of a time where my kids were like seriously sick for like weeks. Like it was maybe a day or two and we're outside or something, you know. So yeah, the other thing talks about, again, 3 may reduce disease risk. My kids didn't have anything about like RSV or any of these weird problems, serious problems. Sorry, the problems are not weird. They're really serious. Okay. Breast milk promotes baby's healthy weight. Yeah, the baby was always on a healthy weight. I went to every single appointment, and I double checked myself, so there was never a problem with that. So yes, for that alone, it's worth it. Okay. Breastfeeding may make children smarter. Ooh, this is a very touchy subject. No woman wants to say like they're doing something that might prevent their kids from being smarter. And what's smarter? What's the definition of smarter? Anyone is smart, smart, street smart, book smart, this smart. We're all different types of smart. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I sent my kid to a chess tournament the other day, and I mean, you couldn't tell who was the breastfed kid or not. I mean, he was playing against like older kids, so he lost. He won one game out of 4, and the other games he was playing with like much older kids, like 8-year-old. My son is 6, so I don't think it was fair. Well, he did play against another 6-year-old girl, and she was older too, so by like half a year, I think. But and plus, like, he just learned chess. So I mean, generally, like I feel like I mean, everyone thinks that their kid is smart. I mean, I guess I'm no exception to that. He is like ahead of math. I'm training him like almost like 4 days a week. So like he's getting math concepts like even adults don't get. You know, he just like when I was telling him like, oh, we're gonna ride our bikes for like 5 miles, and he knew that like the track that we go on at the gym, 7 laps is a mile. So he was trying to do the math in his head, and he's like only 6 years old, and he's doing that. He's like, oh, so I have to go. It's like 35 laps. I'm like, wow, man, how do you know? So he's yeah, I'd say he's pretty sharp. I mean, okay, I'll put it this way. He knows things that I don't already. Like he's at that age. Like we're in neighborhoods. He recognizes things I don't. He remembers where the car is parked. He's in some ways he's smarter than me. I cannot believe it. A 6-year-old can be smarter in some ways than their own mom already. Yeah. And to me, that's everything, because like, I just, as a parent, like I just want to have it's just assuring that my kid will be able to survive in this very, very difficult world. It's really dog eat dog world. Like it's really like the smartest, the resilient, the hardworking. That guy is the one that survives. Like, especially this day with the cost of housing, the living, the inflation. Like, we need every neuron we can get, every strength, every motivation we can get to survive. So if that contributed to that, 100% worth it. And my son's daughter's reading 2, 3 years old. Like they're getting things. I'm homeschooling them too, by the way. So I don't know if maybe it's my teaching. I don't know, but maybe it's a combination of both. But in every way, emotional, yeah, like they're not around other people, but caring, very caring, and I'd say it was good for intelligence. Me, I'd say intelligence is like up there. So definitely enough for me to feel like relaxed about like, yeah, he'll be good in the future. Like I want him to be smarter than me and like make better decisions. So that don't have a problem with. Okay. Yes. Breastfeeding may help you lose weight. Yes. Okay. Well, I had to do a lot of dieting stuff, but I'm actually weighing less than I did pre-pregnancy. Good for me. But it wasn't easy, okay? And I didn't do it suddenly. It's no weird plans. I didn't pay for any trainer. It's just good old-fashioned counting your calories and exercising and little tricks like, don't eat after like 6:30, things like that. I don't know, drinking tea. Like I did all those non-risky methods to lose weight, but also exercising. So lucky. I'm very lucky to have a home gym. It's not like totally decked out, but gets what I need done. And, I get to use the indoor bike. And we go for walks, mothers who breastfeed have a lower risk of depression. Yeah, I mean, we all moms have guilt, and I think it builds up to depression, and who knows, like the chemicals in our brain. So I'm not depressed. Of course, I read stories about like moms crying in a washroom, and I'm so glad like that not even 1% of me ever had that urge. I'm so grateful for that. I didn't have an easy life, okay? I don't want to get too into it. I don't need the pity, but my parents were refugees. My mom was a teenager when she had me. I grew up poor. I didn't have guidance, good guidance. I made a lot of mistakes, and sometimes I look back and be like, oh man, why did I do this and that way? And but I don't get like sad. I'm very motivated. I'm not like smiling all the time. My husband's like, oh, you don't smile. You always like it takes random pictures of me like, oh, you're always frowning. Well, I mean, but I'm motivated. I wake up early, like 6 in the morning. I'm getting things done. So I don't see how that could be like what a depressed person does. I don't know. Maybe I'm built differently too, like left-handed and all. Anyways, breastfeeding may prevent menstruation. Yes, this is what also makes it super worth it. It was like a vacation from that annoying menstruation. Like imagine 5 years of not menstruating and not having like problems like either. So saves time and money. Well, I didn't work and I could have been making a lot of money. But I also hate working too. So thank my husband so much for like really understanding these benefits, and he wants the best for his kids, and I'm so glad we were on the same page with that. And I do feel guilty like that I'm at home. Of course I have that guilt, but I know that if I wasn't there, then they would have been in daycare paying for the doctors and all that. So does it save time and money? I can't crunch the numbers, dollars and cents, but I think for the kids' future, knowing that like they have and by the way, I didn't stop at breastfeeding, guys. Like I also am giving them the healthiest. Yeah, like I live in Texas. They want the hamburgers and the fries, and I take them to soccer, and like they have a tradition where they bring like every parent brings like a bag of snacks, which is a bag of UPFs. I call it the processed food potluck, basically. I wish I could shield my kid from that. And like, I don't know, if I said this was like a religious rule of mine, then I think that would be more respected. But if I say, oh hey guys, I care about nutrition, and they'll look down at me and say Karen, or I don't know what they would say, like, oh, who's this uptight prude, or anyways, that's nothing to do with breastfeeding, right? Co-sleeping benefits, I don't know, that's just too controversial, because of like all the risks and all the horrible like deaths that happen. But you know, they sleep better. I never had to worry about my kids crying. I never see them crying like I see the kids crying at the playgrounds, like that level tantrum. I never saw it in my kids. And you can't say it's genetics, because I had that level tantrum when I was a kid, apparently. But like, I think because I'm there, I give them the love. And every time they were about to cry, they got breastfed. Like, they never cried in public. Like, people comment like, why are they not crying? Because that's it. And the love, like, that is love, and that boosts their immunity, apparently. This is to become more independent. Well, my kid is clever, but he likes his mom around him. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about that. It's worth it, okay? Like, I have that nagging voice that says, oh, you could have been making money because I live in a hyper-capitalist world. But it is what it is, you know. And what life is all about is, you know, giving the best for your kids. And this is what I thought, this is what I saw was the best, okay, based on the research. And I know it's a very touchy subject, because other moms, it's just impossible to do what I was able to do. Some people see it as oppression too. There's also the philosophy, the culture we live in too. So there's the capitalism that prevents it, and the culture, the culture. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, thank you for watching. And I don't know if it's been enlightening, helpful, but you can see on my YouTube channel, like, the kids, they seem motivated, happy. I mean, they're not, it's not always sunshine. Of course, they have emotions, but, you know, they get over it. They're resilient, they're strong, they're tough, they're motivated. I love being with them. Like, I hear about parents who are just like, they want their me time and stuff. I like being around my kids, and I really think that it's important, and I really hope that my kids will have the opportunity to raise their kids like that too, if they have them. So thank you for watching, and yeah, check out my channel for other tips and our little travel adventures, and have a good day.